By the end of this video you'll understand why the AI industry's confidence problem is more dangerous than any technical limitation we're facing right now. This week we saw 3 stories that perfectly capture this crisis. Companies launched GPUs into space to avoid environmental reviews. Brain chip startups raised money with zero FDA approval timelines. And AI chatbots kept confidently giving wrong medical advice half the time. Let's get into it. First up, Kepler Communications claims they launched the largest orbital compute cluster with 40 GPUs spinning around Earth. 40 GPUs. That's what a decent gaming setup had 5 years ago. But here's what's actually happening beneath the marketing spin. They found a brilliant way to run compute workloads without dealing with local zoning boards, environmental impact reports, or angry neighbors complaining about power consumption. The technical achievement is real. Getting hardware to survive launch and operate in the vacuum of space isn't trivial. But calling 40 GPUs the largest orbital cluster is like declaring yourself the tallest person in an empty room. What's fascinating isn't the scale, it's the precedent. When every new data center proposal gets buried under months of regulatory review, suddenly orbit starts looking attractive. This is regulatory arbitrage disguised as space innovation. But this connects to something much bigger that I'll reveal at the end. Before I get into the next story, I want your hot take on this. Comment below, is launching compute into space genius regulatory arbitrage or just expensive marketing? Now let's talk about brain chips and biotech timelines. Max Hodak Science Corp says they're preparing to place their first sensor in a human brain. Sure, Hodak co-founded Neuralink and knows neural interfaces. But preparing to place is biotech speak for we have PowerPoint slides and venture capital. No FDA approval timeline. No published data. No definition of success. The only thing more dangerous than a brain chip is a brain chip timeline from someone who's seen how slowly the FDA actually moves. This is a funding announcement disguised as a product update. The credibility rating on this story is only 35% real, and that's being generous. Meanwhile, we're getting reports that AI chatbots give misleading medical advice 50% of the time. The error rate sounds about right. Medical language models have been documented screwing up basic diagnoses for years. But here's the problem. The researchers didn't name themselves, their methodology, or even link to their work. Real problem, phantom study. It's like citing scientists say in a middle school report. The 50% figure is probably accurate, but good luck finding the actual research. This brings us to the most absurd story of the week. Then there's Cloudflare's time-traveling AI partnership. They apparently power agentic workflows with OpenAI's GPT 5.4 and something called Agent Cloud. Small problem. GPT 5.4 doesn't exist. Neither does Agent Cloud as a major Cloudflare product. The press release mentions Codex, which OpenAI killed in 2023. This reads like AI-generated marketing copy that hallucinated product names and model versions. Either someone's publishing from 2027 or we've reached peak AI hype where fake products get real coverage. Drop your hot take in the comments. When companies announce partnerships with AI models that don't exist, is that fraud or just really aggressive marketing? Now here's the thread connecting all 3 stories, and this is why I opened with that bold claim about confidence being more dangerous than technical limitations. These aren't isolated incidents of overpromising. They're symptoms of a much deeper problem. AI experts are measuring confidence when they should be measuring competence. Stanford's latest report shows 71% of Americans are anxious about AI's economic impact while researchers remain bullish. Most people dismiss this as typical public hysteria. They're completely wrong. New research on something called filtered reasoning score reveals why the public's gut feeling might be correct. AI models achieve high benchmark scores while producing garbage reasoning. They're competent and wrong, which is a dangerous combination. There's a fascinating paper called the solver-sampler mismatch that makes this concrete. Researchers tested whether stronger reasoning models improve behavioral simulation in negotiations. The result? Better reasoning actually made the simulations worse. The models became more competent in their flawed understanding of human behavior, not more accurate. They solved the wrong problem with impressive precision. This is exactly what we're seeing across the industry. Companies launching 40 GPU space clusters and calling them game changers. Startups raising money for brain chips with no regulatory pathway. Press releases announcing partnerships with models that don't exist. The pattern is always the same. Maximum confidence, minimum competence verification. We've created an ecosystem where sounding certain matters more than being right. And that's not just a problem for investors or early adopters. When AI systems are deployed in medicine, finance, and critical infrastructure, confident wrongness becomes genuinely dangerous. The public isn't anxious about AI because they don't understand the technology. They're anxious because they can sense that the people building it have stopped distinguishing between what sounds impressive and what actually works. If you want the full breakdown of stories like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, completely free, I go 1,000 words deep in Overfitted. Link in the description. No fluff, no hype, just reality checks on what's actually happening in AI. Hit that like button if this connected some dots for you. Share it with someone who needs to hear this perspective on AI hype versus reality. And subscribe so you don't miss next week when I cover why the AI safety community might be solving the wrong problems entirely. If AI experts are measuring competence when they should be measuring competence, what does that tell us about who we should actually be listening to?